Good morning. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Good evening, Raluca. I have some difficulties with the internet. Basically, I don't have Wi-Fi, so I am using the phone. Hopefully, it will work well throughout the whole meditation. We will start in a few seconds. I will just wait a couple of more moments. I appreciate seeing your names in the live chat. I know some of you cannot do it, and that's okay. It's no problem at all, but I appreciate, of course, knowing that just not only talking to a screen, but to see that there is something behind the screen. Good morning. My idea for today's meditation is to do something very basic. Basic is very good. And just to introduce a few basic ideas about meditation. The first ideas is that I will recommend you very highly to try to be consistent with meditation, to try to do it every day. And it doesn't have to be for long. Even a 10 minutes meditation is a wonderful possibility. So just to set your mind that every day for 10 minutes or more, you will do meditation. So that's the first one. The first basic important thing about meditation is to do it consistently. The second thing is, if at all possible, to try to do it always at the same time. So let's say you put the time 8 in the morning, every morning for 10 minutes, you will sit to meditate. And if also at all possible, to do it always in the same place. Of course, this may not be possible at all, and that's okay. But if possible, to do it consistently, to do it at the same time, and to do it in the same place. This is simply because the mind is an animal of habit. And when you train the mind, then things become easier. It's like a habit. It's like some habits are not good for ourselves, but some habits are very good for us. And to create the habit of meditating, and for the mind to create this habit, if you do it consistently for a while, then at a certain point when you sit, the mind is going to be more ready to be in silence. And one of the things that we look for in meditation is silence. There is one more thing which I'm not going to go deep at all. I'm just going to very briefly mention it. But many times I hear people complain about meditation because when they sit, they have so many thoughts in their mind that really is more noisy than throughout the rest of the day. I want to say two things about that. The first one is that it's not that the mind is more noisy during meditation. The mind is always very noisy. It's just that when you're in meditation, you notice the noise of your mind. And throughout the day, when you're not in meditation, you're busy with 1,000 things, you don't notice so much all the noise that there is in your mind. Because your attention, instead of being in the mind, your attention is on everything else. And so you don't see that the mind is very noisy. The moment you sit to meditate and you try to come down for a little bit, your attention is on the mind instead of being in the outside world. And because the attention is there, you notice that the mind is very noisy. But it's not more noisy than throughout the day. It's just that you see that the noise of the mind, which is a very good thing to see. The second thing I want to say is that meditation, as different from what many people believe, is not really the right time to learn to stop the thoughts. Meditation is like a place to practice what we do before meditation. So meditation is not really the time to learn to stop the thoughts. The place to learn to stop the thoughts is our everyday life. And again, I'm not going to go deep into this at all. I'm just going to very briefly mention it. But the most important way to reduce the amount of thoughts that we have, the amount of noise that we have in our mind, is our lifestyle. And this is something that not many people are interested in changing their lifestyle, but that's really the main way to do it. And by changing our lifestyle, what I mean is that there are two basic principles that have to be understood for the mind to be in a more peaceful state. And those two principles, I'm just going to mention them. One in Sanskrit called Dharma. Dharma basically just means or the Greeks used to call it living in harmony with nature. By nature, I don't mean going to the countryside. By nature is meant life. So living more in harmony with the natural laws of life. If we live our everyday life, if our lifestyle is a lifestyle that continuously is going against the natural laws of life, being aware of the needs of the body, being aware of the needs of the mind, being aware of the needs of the world, being aware of the needs of other people, and living in harmony with those needs. That's what will be called Dharma in Sanskrit, or in the Greeks would say living in harmony with nature. To have a lifestyle that is conducive to that kind of experience, the experience of Dharma, of the right action, of the harmony with the whole. That will be one principle that is something that we need to do in our everyday life. And if we do that, naturally, the mind will be more at peace with itself. The second principle that we need to understand is that, this is even more difficult to understand, is that somehow we need to come to the understanding that the external world is not the place where I will find happiness. a lot of our distractions is because our attention is continuously going to the world. And by the world, I mean anything outside of myself, outside of the sense of being. Is that I'm looking for the happiness outside. And so my mind is very distracted looking for what I need outside. And there is no problem with doing that, but it has to come at a certain point, the understanding that because the world, and this is one reason, there are many more reasons, but one reason is because the world is continuously changing. It doesn't stop changing even for 1 second, even for a fraction of a second. Nothing stays the same, and there is no way to grasp happiness outside. Anyway, this is a huge subject, both of them, Dharma and the understanding that the happiness is not outside. These two subjects are huge, but we need to have a certain grasp, not complete, not at all, but a certain grasp of these two principles in our everyday life. And then we practice meditation as a way to assert what we understand, as a way to practice this understanding in a more specific way, which is seated with the eyes closed. Just one last thing, the most popular, the most important teachings on meditation come from the Yoga Sutras. And in the Yoga Sutras are very old writings about yoga, which nothing to do with the yoga that we think, the physical yoga. But these are the most important writings on meditation. And there they spoke about the Ashtanga Yoga, which is the 8th step. And in that 8 steps, they talk about meditation, and meditation comes at the 7th step. So the first 6 steps are preparation for meditation. And the first 2 steps are preparations in our lifestyle. And then comes the preparation for the physical body, comes the preparation for the breathing, comes the preparation for how the mind has to be concerned about certain things. And at the 7 steps, meditation appears. And most people in our time and age, they have a very creative, they are living a completely adharmic style of life, going against nature continuously. And then they try to sit and meditate. And that's very difficult. That's why many people feel frustrated with meditation. But it's such a wonderful tool that we can add to our lives. Such a fundamental tool that we can add to our lives. So, having said this, again, I would like to do a very simple meditation with 3 basic principles. I will tell you these 3 principles, and then we will do them in the meditation. There are 3 things that help us quiet the mind. The first one is the quietness of the body, meaning not to have the body moving. If we can allow the body to be still, even for a few moments, that will help the mind to quiet. The second principle is to be connected with the breath. And for example, in some disciplines, in some Buddhist disciplines, that's all they do. They just follow the breathing in many different ways, but that's all the meditation is, just following the breath. And the third principle is to quiet the movement of the eyes. You will notice that people that are very agitated in their minds, they're moving the eyes continuously. They're always moving, or for example, it's proof that when you're dreaming at night, your eyes are moving. So the movement of the eyes is very much connected to the movement of the mind. So what we'll practice today in this meditation is going to be very simple. We will start with paying attention to the movements of the body, and we will try to keep the body still. It's not easy. It's fine if we cannot do it, but we will try. Then we will add the breathing, and finally we will add the connection to the eyes to try to keep the eyes quiet. So, having said all this, which I spoke too much, but also I didn't say much because I just barely touched the surface of all these ideas. Please sit in a comfortable position. Try to keep your spine long. It's fine to lay against a chair or a wall. It's not a problem at all. But try to keep the spine long. Don't round the spine. This is very important. Keep the spine as long as you can. You can sit on the floor, but it's very perfect right to sit on a chair too. It's not better to sit on the floor. It's just another possibility. Try to have your hands in a comfortable place. Usually the way I do it is I put my left hand on top of my right hand, and then I bring my thumbs together. That's just one possibility, what is good for me, and then I put my hands in my lap. But some people like to put the hands on top of their knees, either with the palms up, with the palms down, or they like to do, for example, this is a mudra. They like to do this mudra. That's perfectly fine too. Just find a comfortable place for your hands. Keep the spine long, keep your neck long. And please, do close your eyes. Now, just very briefly, start to hear the sounds around you. Just simply like if we bring the mind to the ears. Because the ears are hearing sounds, even if we don't notice that the ears are hearing sounds. And the reason that we don't notice is simply because the mind is somewhere else. If we bring the mind to the ears, then the sounds that were already being heard by the ears, then we will start hearing them. Now, in order to keep the body still, which is the first of the three things that we're going to do, I want you to imagine that you have a bowl, like a big bowl, like a salad bowl in your hands, and that this salad bowl is full to the very, very top, very full of water. And I want you to imagine that you have this bowl in your hands and that you don't want to spill the water at all. Just you can imagine a bowl. Try to really see it in your mind. Maybe it's a porcelain bowl, maybe it's a metal bowl. Just imagine it in your mind. See it full of water, full to the rim. And you want to be so still that you don't want to spill any water at all. Just simply focus on that. Relax your legs. Relax your tummy. Relax your arms. Relax your chest. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. Feel a sense that the body is very relaxed, but at the same time you have this bowl in your hands full of water, and you don't want this water to spill at all. Feel the stability and the strength of your body. And as you notice this bowl full of water and that you don't want to spill any water at all, as you notice that, as you notice your body that doesn't move, as you notice the body, allow this moment to be exactly as it is. Understand that this moment is not supposed to be any different at all than exactly how it is. Whatever is happening in this moment, whatever is appearing in this moment, whether you like it or don't like it, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, whether you think it's good or you think it's bad, whatever it is, allow it to be exactly as it is. But keep the connection with the bowl and the water. There is nowhere to go. It's just this moment as it is. Stay there. Feel the stillness of your body. And at the same time, allow this moment to be exactly as it is. That's all. Don't try to get anywhere. Try to see that there is nothing to accomplish. There is nothing to accomplish. It's just simply being in this moment exactly as it is, with the body still, because you have this bowl of water and you don't want to spill the water at all. Now, keep this connection with the stillness of the body, but add to it the connection with your breathing. Because I mentioned the breathing, maybe the need to take a deeper breath will come. Please let it come. That's perfect. If it doesn't come, that's perfect too. If you need to take a few deeper breaths, but just let them come. Don't do it because you want to, just let them come. And then, little by little, settle on your breathing. And just let the breathing come, let the breathing go. Don't try to control your breathing, not at all. Simply notice that the body is breathing. Notice that the air is coming. Notice that the air goes. And try to start to see that it is not you, the one that is breathing, but that breathing is simply happening in you. Because we have a little bit of control over the breath, we have this feeling that we are breathing. But the truth is that even if we try to stop the breath, at a certain point we will not be able to. Something in us will start breathing by itself. Connect to that. Find the sensation that you yourself, you stop breathing, but something is breathing in you. Just follow that breath. And that's all. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to accomplish. It's just simply being in this moment exactly as it is. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to accomplish. Simply allow the air to come in, allow the air to go out. Keep the body still and allow this moment to be exactly as it is. if you get lost in your thoughts, and we all get lost in our thoughts, it's not a problem. The moment you realize, either because you remember or because I remind you, either way, simply return to the breath. And you may have to return to the breath 100 times or 1,000 times. Simply return to the stillness of the body. Return to the breathing. Return to the understanding that there is nowhere to go. All we are doing right now is simply experiencing this particular moment exactly as it is. Return to the breath. Notice the air coming, and just notice the air going. That's all. It's very important to see that in meditation, we don't have to accomplish something. Exactly what is happening is exactly what is supposed to be. To be at peace with that. The stillness of the body, the air coming in and the air going out. I want to add the last part. I would like you to imagine with your eyes closed that you're looking at the tip of your nose. To fix your eyes in the side of the tip of your nose. Very gently, don't force your eyes. You don't have to cross your eyes. Just very gently, with your eyes closed. Imagine that you're looking at the tip of your nose and try to keep your eyes fixed on that. At the same time, notice the stillness of your body and notice the air coming in and the air going out. And simply stay there. Nothing needs to happen. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to come. Nothing needs to go. Notice the stillness of your body. Notice the air coming in and the air going out. Keep your eyes focused at the tip of your nose. And allow this moment to be exactly what it is. Maybe it feels very nice and quiet and peaceful. Maybe it feels like a storm full of thoughts and worries and anxieties. Allow this moment to be exactly as it is. the stillness of your body, the air coming in and the air going out, and your eyes focus on the tip of your nose. If you notice that you're lost in a thought, return to the breathing, return to this moment. Return once, 10 times, 100 times. Keep returning. There is no right meditation. There is no wrong meditation. If we could understand that, it will be such a important thing to understand. What is important is that you are here doing the meditation. That's all it counts. We will stay exactly right here and now for another 2 minutes. For these last 2 minutes, reconnect to the stillness of your body. Reconnect to the breathing. Focus your eyes at the tip of your nose and allow whatever comes, whatever goes, whatever appears, whatever doesn't appear, allow this moment to be exactly as it is. And just very slowly Allow more air to come in and more air to go out. Just let more air come into the body. Let more air leave the body. And start to move your hands, start to move your arms. If you want to stretch your body, stretch the arms, stretch the legs. Move a little bit your shoulders, move a little bit your neck. Open your eyes. I can stay for a few more moments. If you have any comments or questions, you can write them in the live chat. You know, I try to bring some variation to these meditations. So I try to change sometimes the meditations that we do, but you don't have to do that. You can repeat the same meditation every day. And actually, I will recommend you to keep one meditation and just keep doing that one meditation for a long time. You don't have to bring variations to the meditations. Even if I tend to do that when I do these meditations, you don't have to. Just do one meditation, something very simple, but do it consistently. Also tonight we have a talk. You're welcome to come. It will be in Zoom. It's a bit more interactive than this. If you have any comments or questions, if you want to give it a like, if you enjoy the meditation. And Cosmin, nice to see that you're there. There is a question from Radu. My curiosity is, in your deeper day-to-day meditations, are you also aware of the awareness itself? That's a very profound question, Radu. But you don't have to be in meditation to be aware of awareness. That's a whole subject in itself. You are the awareness, and so you cannot, it's very hard to speak about the subject because there is no really a language to speak about the awareness. You can, there is this understanding, there is this way to say it, that one can be aware of awareness. But try to think about this, Radu. Who is aware of the awareness? It has to be awareness. It has to be aware of awareness. So being aware of awareness is a returning, is a coming back, and in which you understand, you see that you are the awareness. But this is more like, it's closer to an understanding than a practice. One can speak about it as a practice, but you cannot practice because you are that. So it's more like a setting back into the most inner part of what you really are, which is this awareness. And the way to talk is, yes, you are awareness, you're aware of awareness, but that is a completely different, it's a much larger subject that requires much more time and discipline and understanding and study and interest. But it's a very profound question, and one that I am very, very interested in. Yes, exactly, Alexandra. This is simple and very powerful and needs to be repeated. It's a way to train the mind. It's very, very important to train our mind. in a very simple and beautiful way. The mind is like a computer, and just like when you learn about the computer, it's a way to train the computer. Training the computer, it just means understanding how the computer works, and understanding some shortcuts and some things in order to be able to handle the computer in a more useful way to you. It's the same with the mind. The mind is a very sophisticated computer that just needs a little bit of training in order for the mind to be on your side and not against you. They said your mind is your best friend, or it can be your worst enemy, and there is no other thing that will take neither happiness nor unhappiness from you. The happiness or the unhappiness is in your mind. Okay, so thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see some of you tonight, and otherwise we will meet again next Wednesday. Hopefully I will be able to do this meditation regularly. Lee asked another question. It's another of these big questions. Is presence with capital P? What I call presence with capital P is what Radu asked before about being aware of awareness. That possibility to be aware of awareness is another way to speak about what I call presence with capital P, which are just words that don't mean anything unless you understand what it means. Is presence with capital P determining or conditioning the presence with small p? Presence with upper P doesn't determine or condition anything. The presence with upper P simply is aware, is what allows everything to happen. So presence with small p is when you're more attentive. That's when there is more presence. And when you're more distracted is when there is less presence. But presence with capital P is aware of both. You've been more attentive or you've been more distracted. And it doesn't determine anything. It's just, it is what allows everything else to happen. Presence with capital P is not a doer. It doesn't do anything. One way to see this presence with capital P is that it's like the sun. The sun illumines everything. It illumines the most beautiful possibility on earth and illumines the most horrible thing that can happen. Both of them, the reason why the both can happen is because there is light. So the sun illumines both. With respect to the sun is not important, but with respect to presence with capital P is what is really what is aware of everything. And it's not something that you do, it's something that you are. Again, this is a bigger subject, one that cannot be talked in just a few seconds. Thank you very much, and looking forward to see you again soon. Ciao.